His name was Rex, a large German shepherd with a scar above his left eye and eyes that looked far older than his age. He lived on the edge of a quiet Midwest town called Pine Hollow in a wooden farmhouse surrounded by cornfields and memories. Rex didn't just belong to his owner, he was built around him. His owner, Ethan Miller, was a retired Army combat medic. Years of war had taken something from Ethan that never came back, and Rex was the only one who noticed. Every nightmare, every restless night, Rex was there. Not as a pet, as a witness, as a promise that Ethan would never be alone again. But promises don't stop the heart. One cold November morning, Rex nudged Ethan's hand like he always did. No response. He barked softly. Nothing. By the time the neighbors came running, Ethan was already gone. A quiet heart failure, sudden and merciless. Rex stayed. For 2 days he refused to move from Ethan's side. He licked his fingers. He lay across his boots. When the men finally carried Ethan away, Rex followed until the truck door closed. That was the first time anyone heard Rex whine. Not loud, not dramatic, just broken. The burial was worse. Rex sat by the grave long after everyone left. Rain soaked his fur, but he didn't move. He stared at the dirt as if expecting it to open, as if Ethan might step out and say this was all a mistake. That night, Rex dug at the soil until his paws bled. Something inside him shut down. Weeks later, animal control found him still there, thinner, quieter, refusing food. The tag on his collar led them nowhere. No family, no instructions, just a dog who had outlived his purpose. They took him to a private rescue facility outside the city. Clean floors, soft voices, new smells. Rex ignored all of it. He didn't growl, he didn't play. He sat facing walls, ears alert, waiting for a command that would never come. That's when Lily Carter saw him. She was 16, grieving in her own way. Her older brother had disappeared months earlier. No body, no answers, just silence. When Lily knelt in front of Rex's kennel, he finally looked up. Their eyes met. Something passed between them. Not comfort, not hope, but recognition. "You're waiting too," she whispered. Rex stood for the first time in days. And far away in Pine Hollow, something dark was already moving toward Lily. Something that would soon test whether Rex's loyalty had died with his owner, or had only been waiting for a new reason to wake up. What Lily didn't know was that Rex had already recognized danger once before, and this time it was coming for her.
Rex arrived at Lily Carter's home on a quiet afternoon, riding in the back seat like a soldier being relocated to a new post. The house sat at the edge of town, smaller than Ethan's farmhouse, but heavy with grief. Lily's mother tried to smile, tried to act hopeful, but the silence left behind by Lily's missing brother still lived in every corner. From the moment Rex stepped inside, something felt familiar to him. Not the layout, not the smells, but the weight. This was a house where people waited for someone who might never return. Rex chose his spot carefully. He didn't lie near the couch. He didn't approach the kitchen. Instead, he positioned himself outside Lily's bedroom door every night, facing outward, alert. He slept lightly, waking at the smallest sound. Lily noticed it immediately. "He guards me like I'm a mission," she joked once, but Rex wasn't joking. He studied routines, the way Lily left for school at 7:40 a.m., the shortcut she took home through the old service road near the woods, the unmarked van that passed the house twice a week at odd hours. Rex didn't bark, he memorized. At night, when the house went quiet, Rex would press his nose against an old military jacket Lily had found folded in his crate, Ethan's jacket. He didn't cry, He breathed, slow, controlled, like he'd been trained to survive pain without making a sound. Then came the changes. Lily began receiving messages from an unknown number. At first, they were harmless, wrong number. Then came stranger ones. You walk home alone. That dog won't help you. Lily showed her mother, who dismissed it as a prank. The police filed a report and forgot about it. Rex didn't forget anything. One afternoon, Lily didn't come home on time. The sun dipped lower. The house stayed quiet. Rex paced, ears sharp, tail stiff. When Lily's scent finally reached him, faint, rushed, mixed with fear, Rex bolted toward the door, slamming his body against it until it burst open. He ran, not blindly, purposefully. The shortcut road near the woods carried Lily's scent sharply, then abruptly vanished, replaced by oil, rubber, metal, a vehicle, fresh, recent. Rex followed it toward the abandoned industrial district beyond town limits, a place locals avoided and police rarely patrolled. Inside a rusted warehouse, Lily sat bound, shaking, while two men argued. She wasn't supposed to have a dog, one muttered. Outside, unseen, Rex crouched in the shadows. His ears flattened, his breathing slowed. This wasn't fear. This was activation, and somewhere deep inside Rex's memory, Ethan's voice returned, calm, firm, unmistakable. Protect the asset, no matter the cost. The men inside the warehouse had no idea they'd already been found, and Rex was done waiting. The warehouse smelled like rust, sweat, and fear. Rex stayed low, moving along the outer wall, his paws silent against the broken concrete. Every sound inside painted a picture in his mind: boots scraping, a chair shifting, Lily's uneven breathing. He didn't rush. Ethan had taught him better than that. Inside, Lily struggled against the tape around her wrists, her heart hammered louder than the men's voices. "Relax," one of them said. "We're not here to hurt you." Rex's ears twitched. That sentence meant nothing. Ethan had taught him that too. The first man stepped outside to make a call. He didn't even see Rex until it was too late. A dark shape surged forward, knocking him off balance. Rex didn't go for the throat. He slammed into the man's chest, driving him into the wall. The man hit the ground hard, air gone, consciousness fading. Rex disappeared again before the second man noticed anything was wrong. Inside the warehouse, panic began to creep in. "What was that?" the second man asked, reaching for a flashlight. Rex circled wide, using stacked pallets and broken machinery as cover. When the flashlight beam swung too far left, Rex lunged from the right, snapping at the man's arm and forcing him to drop the light. The man screamed, stumbling backward and crashing into a table. Lily froze. She recognized that shape now, that movement. "Rex," she whispered. Her voice changed everything. Rex hesitated, just for a fraction of a second, enough time for the second man to recover and pull out a knife. The blade flashed under the hanging lights. Rex lunged again, faster this time, but the knife sliced his shoulder. Pain exploded, hot and sharp. Rex didn't stop. He drove his weight into the legs, taking him down hard. The knife skidded across the floor. The man scrambled, trying to crawl away, but Rex planted a paw on his back and growled, low, controlled, final. Silence returned. Blood dripped from Rex's shoulder onto the concrete. Lily cried out as Rex hurried to her side, gently pulling at the tape with his teeth until her hands were free. She wrapped her arms around his neck, shaking. "I knew you'd come," she sobbed. But Rex wasn't done. His ears snapped toward the far door. Footsteps, multiple, faster. He counted them instinctively. 3.
This wasn't random. This wasn't a small crime. As headlights flooded through the broken windows, Rex positioned himself in front of Lily, standing tall despite the blood soaking his fur. His body trembled, not from fear, but from exhaustion fighting duty. Outside, a familiar voice barked orders, a voice Rex recognized, not from this life, but from before, from training grounds, from war. And that realization sent a ripple of something dangerous through Rex's mind, because if that man was here, this rescue was far from over. Rex had just saved Lily, but the real enemy had finally arrived.
The warehouse doors creaked open slowly, deliberately, not the rush of criminals, but the confidence of someone who believed he was in control. 3 men entered, armed and calm. The one in front stopped when he saw Rex. He smiled. "Well, I'll be damned," the man said. "You're still alive." Rex stiffened. The voice unlocked something buried deep, dust-covered memories of drills, shouted commands, gunfire, and obedience learned the hard way. This wasn't just another threat, this was history. The man stepped closer, lowering his weapon slightly. "Easy, boy. You don't remember me, do you?" Rex growled, low, warning, restrained. The man's name was Marcus Hale, former Army contractor, discharged under investigation. Ethan had spoken that name once, late at night, voice tight with regret. Hale specialized in off-the-books operations and in turning trained assets into disposable tools. "You were never meant to retire," Hale continued. "Neither was Ethan." Lily's breath caught. "You knew his owner?" Hale laughed softly. "I trained him, and the dog." That was the mistake. Rex moved. One of the men fired. The shot grazed Rex's side, spinning him sideways, but he stayed on his feet. Hale shouted for control, but it was already lost. Rex charged the shooter, forcing him to retreat behind a steel column. The second man rushed Lily, and that's when Hale saw it. Rex turned mid-run. Not instinct, choice. He abandoned the armed man and tackled the one moving toward Lily, slamming him into the floor with bone-shaking force. The message was clear. She comes first. Hale's smile vanished. "So he broke you," Hale muttered. "Ethan made you think you were more than a weapon." Sirens wailed in the distance. Lily had triggered a silent emergency alert on her phone during the chaos. Hale realized the window was closing. He raised his gun, aiming directly at Rex. Rex stood his ground. No growl, no movement, just eyes locked on the man who once gave him orders and no longer held any power. The gun fired, and everything went white. When sound returned, it was chaos. Police shouting, men being restrained, Lily screaming Rex's name. He lay on the floor, blood spreading beneath him, chest rising unevenly. Hale was dragged away in handcuffs, screaming about unfinished assets and classified programs. No one listened. Rex's eyes searched until they found Lily's face above him, tears falling onto his fur. "You stayed. You chose me," she whispered. His tail moved once, barely. Enough. Rex had won the fight, but the cost of loyalty was about to be tested in the most painful way yet. The emergency lights painted the warehouse in red and blue as paramedics rushed in. Rex barely felt the hands lifting him, barely registered the stretcher beneath his body. His world had narrowed to sound. Lily's voice calling his name, steady and desperate, refusing to let him drift. "Stay with me, Rex, please, you promised." At the Veterinary Trauma Center, doctors worked through the night. The bullet had missed his heart by inches, but shattered muscle and bone. Infection was a risk. Survival wasn't guaranteed. Lily and her mother waited in silence that felt heavier than fear. When the surgeon finally emerged, he removed his gloves slowly. "He's a fighter," he said, "but what kept him alive wasn't training.
It was purpose. Rex woke to sunlight and quiet beeping. His body ached, but something felt different, lighter. The nightmares didn't come. For the first time since Ethan died, there was no command echoing in his head, only Lily's hand resting on his. The investigation unraveled quickly. Marcus Hale was linked to multiple disappearances, including Lily's brother. The warehouse had been a transfer point. Evidence Rex uncovered that night led police to a second site outside the city. 2 days later, Lily's brother was found alive. The town changed its tone. Rex wasn't labeled a dangerous animal. He was named a protector. The police department offered to induct him as an honorary canine, but Lily declined. He's not a tool, he's family. Weeks passed. Rex healed, his limp faded, his eyes softened. One afternoon, Lily took Rex back to Pine Hollow. They stood by Ethan's grave. Lily placed Ethan's old jacket on the headstone. "You saved him once," she said quietly, "and then you saved us." Rex lay down beside the grave, not to wait, not to mourn, but to rest. He had fulfilled every duty asked of him, and chosen one no one ever commanded. Years later, people in Pine Hollow still talk about the German shepherd who stopped a trafficking ring, saved a family, and walked away from war without bitterness. There's no statue, no plaque, just a dog sometimes seen walking beside a young woman on quiet roads, no longer guarding from fear, but from love. Because loyalty doesn't end with loss. Sometimes it begins again. And what if Rex wasn't the only retired asset still out there, waiting for the wrong people to make the wrong move?